I'm privileged to be joined by PDC tour card holder, the Heat, Damon Heta. How are you, mate? You all okay?
Yeah, all aces here, mate.
Yeah, good stuff. To start, just a little bit of background really on you. Obviously, growing up in Australia. Whereabouts of Australia are you from?
Yeah, so from Perth, Australia, on
Perth.
the other side of the country.
Was it always darts for you, or was there any sports before darts that you were playing? Was it football or anything?
Yeah, growing up, darts wasn't really a thing. It was, a very sporting background. So I was playing rugby, softball, AFL, basketball, cricket, doing karate. Man, I was, anything and everything pretty much.
Yeah, and now obviously darts is the main thing for you. And in Australia, you won lots of titles, like the DPA Australian Singles, the West Coast Classic, Pacific Masters. The list goes on. Loads that you've won out there. When was it that you first considered like the switch to the UK to give yourself the chance of playing darts at the highest level?
Yeah, the plan obviously was from the 2018 World Series, when it all happened. I spoke to my wife and obviously getting all the information that I could from all the other players and stuff, and just making a real go of it from there. So 2018 World Series, from there I committed to the DPA circuit in Australia. And once I got on from there, I just took pretty much every step there on in to make it to the big times, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously, like with the switch, there comes lots of sacrifices for yourself. Like how did you find that for yourself? Like being away from the family, like for periods of time when you was traveling over when they weren't there.
Yeah, it's I'm just lucky that I have my wife with me. It makes it 100 times better than if I was to have nobody. You know what I mean? With not being able to travel home, it's very crap at the moment. My dog just passed away last week, so it's disheartening that I couldn't get home. Even I was looking at flights going home because I didn't know when next tournaments were on. Just even if it was home for a few weeks and then come back, but to find out that we couldn't even do that. That makes it a bit hard, very hard. But,
you've got family still over there in Perth, like brothers or sisters, or still?
Pretty much all my family and friends are in Perth, so they're looking after stuff for me as well, which is good, and they're full supportive and stuff like that. So, but I just can't wait for flights to like regularly open back up so we can go home, like whenever we sort of want, and
it's a bit
work
of
it around the darts.
isn't it? With the COVID situation as well, like it just seems to be like barriers for everything for like the international players. Like I think I read the other day about Jeff Smith traveling back and he went to Canada, and he was saying that I think it was a 23-hour round trip or something ridiculous like that to get home. So for all the international players, it's probably a nightmare, really.
Yeah, but the thing is, you've got to. I think once you've committed, you know what I mean. I've literally packed up and left and committed to the full circuit. So I'm going to be here. I mean, I knew I was going to be here for quite some time. Already, because I wanted to give it my all. You know what I mean. It's not just I would love to keep traveling backwards and forwards if I could, but I don't think that would be giving it my 100%. So I've literally packed up and left and committed to stay on for the whole, at least 2 years. And if we did have a massive break and we were allowed to, like in normal times, to travel within, if I didn't have a comp coming up in like a month or two, then I would travel home and you know what I mean, and come back. But knowing that we can't do that, I've sort of planned for it, if so to say.
I get what you mean. And now you're living in the Derbyshire area, isn't it, at the moment?
No, we just moved just recently, about nearly 2 months now. We've just moved to the Leicestershire area now.
Leicester area. Is there any sort of players in Leicester area that are on the tour that you've been having any practice sessions with, or anybody on the tour that's near to you?
Yeah, so Dimitri's moved in. We've both moved in together. So that's hopefully we can just spur each other on and keep up keep up our game, you know what I mean, and I'll try and reach the heights that he's at the moment, you know what I mean. But yeah, I used to play against Simon and GG online, but I've sort of turned away with the online comps at the moment. I just finding when the darts started back up, and then I tried to go back to playing online, it just wasn't really happening for me. I found I got more practice, practicing like not just the comps, just like online with someone for like a solid 2 hours. I just felt like I got more out of it. So.
And how have you been finding sort of the online darts? Have you been enjoying the online aspect of, obviously it's not the same as playing with somebody like in a arena or whatever. How are you finding that, like the online stuff?
Yeah, when I first was when the online started going last year about March, that's pretty much all I had. So I adapted pretty quick, and I was loving it. I treated it like a proper game, and doing those home tours. I was loving that. I was prepped for that, but once I dropped out of that and once we started playing the real stuff again, coming back to the online just wasn't the same, and I didn't want to change back to that, and it was too much going on, so I just stopped that, and I just felt that I got more out of my practice, practicing with someone, like even online, practicing online, but yet it would just be a solid 2 hours of practicing, if you know what I mean, rather than play one game, then stop for 2 or an hour or two waiting for other people, and then you play again, and it just stop and start just wasn't great. So I found better rhythm practicing for 2 hours straight online.
Yeah, 100%. How much of a influence has like Simon Whitlock had on you, like with not just with your switch over to the UK, but also like being a Australian also, and obviously the things that you've done in the game? How much of an influence has he had on yourself?
Yeah, well, he's always been, he's been Australia's number one for quite some time. The World Cup obviously was a great experience playing together, that's for sure. He's always lent his hand out to be helpful. But yeah, I see it now as like, because he's number one, that's where I want to be. I want to be number one. So I sort of see it as, I want to take over and be Australia's number one for sure. But, for what he's done for so many years, I would love to do better than that. But it's a bit of an uphill.
And that was going on to my next question, was going to be about the World Cup. Like, how did you find the World Cup? Obviously, but unlucky really in the end. Not to probably win that tournament the way you and Simon were playing. You come up against a Welsh side in Johnny Clayton, who's now absolutely flying, isn't he, at the minute? And obviously the world champion and world number one, Gavin Price. How was the World Cup for you?
Yeah, it was I think it was just I think for both of us was just like a real confidence boost, knowing like I'm pretty sure we set our limit pretty high that we're going to go pretty far in the comp. We just felt that, we sort of gelled together. I wasn't really worried about my game. I was more worried about getting Simon to get through that first game all the time, and then winning that ball shot to. Oh yeah, it was just a massive good tournament. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next one.
You could see.
I think it will be a force to reckon with. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You could see, like with you and Simon, you just seemed to click straight away. And you just seemed to bounce off each other. Like between every leg, it was like, especially in the doubles, I noticed that. So if you win a leg or Simon win a leg, it was always the fist bump, and it was like you two just seemed to be bouncing off each other, and it would just seem like you gelled straight away.
Yeah, because I think it's just playing for your country. You know what I mean? You just do, and you want your partner to do well as long as yourself, and not just rely on your partner. You know what I mean? It's a massive confidence game, and if you can boost your partner's confidence, you know what I mean. You boost your own. I think maybe because we played in Australia that it was always like a team environment that we sort of played darts in a lot. So we sort of just gelled that way, I think.
I think definitely in the next one, you will be the contenders for the title next year. I think you are the biggest threat at the minute.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully we beat that Welsh team, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You're currently ranked 47th in the world at the minute. Is there any sort of goals or targets that you've set yourself in terms of titles or rankings?
Yeah, I think just the ranking. I would love to be hopefully by the end of the this year. Yeah, I'd be 32. That was my next sort of the step. Obviously, I would love to be higher. That's for sure. But yeah, so my baby steps. Yeah, 32. I already reached the 64. That was my first goal. Just in general for my first 2 years was just to reach 64, but to do it in the first year, then I expect myself to get to 32 by the end of this year.
I think you've definitely got the capability, or like we've seen it on on the floor tournaments and stuff. I think it was the Players Championship. What was it? The Super Series or the Summer Series where you won one. Just playing fantastic stuff, and you're doubling everything. Just seemed to be going through your scoring as well, and like the big finishes you were taking out, the big finishes that were just hurting your opponents when you were playing.
Yeah, I felt like when I won that pro tour, I didn't feel that I was playing my best darts, but in my head, I knew because I just came back from Australia and that was my first comps back. I come in with a different mentality. It's at the end of the day, it's all about the win. It doesn't matter what your average is, that's for sure. And that's how it is. You just have to win. Like, man, there's people averaging hundreds and losing and stuff, and I think everyone can average hundreds. That's for sure, and it's just been proven. But it's the win at the end of the day. So you learn to take them doubles out. You know what I mean? That's when you become very deadly.
I think that's the quality that top players seem to have now at the minute as well. It's like how they sort of grind the results out. Maybe if they aren't playing so well, how they can win with their B game and stuff.
Yeah, just like I could say that, like watching James Wade, he's got that sort of game where it's not like he's steady. You know what I mean? I don't know. His B game is a high game. You know what I mean? Because of his consistent checkouts. So I think that's how he wins more than he loses, so to say. So
that will lend quite nicely into the next question. Anyway, obviously the Premier League starting tonight. Obviously, it's a shame about Gerwin. Obviously, with the COVID situation, not playing, and James coming in now into the fold. Who is your sort of fancy to sort of pick up the title at the end of the Premier League? Who's your pick?
It's a stiff one, isn't it? But knowing that James Wade has just come in, it wouldn't surprise me if he makes the final. You know what I mean? And probably, I think just how it is. I know that there's like they're pushing for a crowd to come to the end of it, so that could make a little difference. I'm not sure, but who knows, mate? I can't even put my finger on it.
I think that they can all beat each other. If they all put their best game up, I think they can all beat each other. That's how it is at the top level of the sport at the minute.
Oh, that's it, mate. You really can't pick a winner. I don't think. It's so hard there. You don't know who's going to be on or who's going to be off. So it's going to be a very interesting watch, I think.
Yeah, and like going on then to obviously with the COVID situation with the crowds, like we were saying about pushing a crowd in towards the end of it. How have you found like the playing obviously the Worlds this year with no crowd, the UK Open with no crowd? How have you found that?
I've found it fine because I haven't really come in with a crowd. Like I know that I've played in the Brisbane Masters, but and all the World Series events with the crowds and stuff. But yeah, I felt I was pretty comfortable then, as well as probably even more comfortable without the crowd. You just had that background noise. I felt pretty comfortable. But the only thing is, I probably, by not performing on the last couple of TV events, there's probably just more pressure on myself. Like in myself, I just do it too high of expectations, and I don't put that on myself when I play like in the pro tours and stuff. So yeah, it's something that I'll figure out, and I'll figure it out pretty quick. That's for sure.
Yeah. So. And how do you sort of manage that then, like with the crowds, if there is sort of any pressure on you going for the doubles? How do you sort of block that out? And it's just sort of like that tunnel vision for that double you're going for.
Well, that's pretty much what it is. You just bring yourself back to how you are on a practice board, I guess. So you know that you have, say, 32 left. That's it. You're looking at that and you're thinking about hitting that. And maybe if the crowd does get to you, I got that mentality of, yeah, well, I'm going to hit this and I'll turn around. And you know what I mean? I don't know. You just, you try and use it in your advantage, not as a disadvantage. So I always looking at like a positive aspect on a lot of stuff. So I don't get embroiled too much in the crap.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to be, just to sort of block it out and just play your own game. And otherwise, that's how we're going to get us on top of you. If you start like, I've seen a couple of players like over the years sort of playing the crowd into it and sort of turning the crowd against them, sort of thing, when like they're booing and stuff. And I think that's where it sort of gets on top of you then.
Yeah, that's it. If you don't acknowledge it, like if you think someone that you're playing against is doing something tactical or making sound or movement, if you stop your game to tell them to stop, or you just don't embroil yourself in it. And that's what I do. I normally keep my head to the ground and then watch the dartboard as I step up to the oche, and then I do pretty much the same thing the whole time.
Yeah. What have you sort of been doing through the lockdown to keep yourself busy?
Well, yeah, I've been practicing a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
Just started with the golf opening back up.
That's the
getting
next
into
question.
that.
I noticed on Twitter that you've been happy that the courses are back open, so you're having a couple of rounds of golf for you to sort of
giving it a fair crack, just to get myself into something else rather than just darts. I practice a lot. I do practice a lot. Sorting out. Yeah, there's not really a great deal that I do too much as well. So I think I need something else just to do whatever. Like I've been for walks and try and to go and see the countryside and stuff like that. But like once it all opens back up, I'll do a lot of traveling. That's for sure. Like while I'm here, see the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner than later. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it is like with yourself as well. Obviously, it's darts all the time in this. So I think, well, with like the golf now, it's something to sort of have changed your mind and sort of get you involved in something else rather than just the repetitiveness of the darts.
Yeah, that's it. I think, I think I just need something like that. Being back home, what I did was obviously I worked a lot. But it wasn't always just darts and stuff like that. But I'm putting in the time all the time, and I think you just need to get out and get away for a bit and come back and just keep that hunger for the darts going. I think if you keep at it a lot and keep practicing and keep doing this, and then I think you'll go mental. I think you just need to get out, come back and feel hungry, and you be hungry all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who was your darting idol when you was growing up watching the darts? Who was sort of your idol that you sort of aspired to be?
Yeah, I always liked Gary Anderson. He just seemed like he was like the mature dart player that had a great game. It was just like it was good to watch. You know what I mean? He was always like you could say an underdog to like Phil Taylor. All the time. I would love to see him beat him, and then I'd loved when he played Van Gerwen when he was going mental. You always went for Anderson to beat Van Gerwen, or it was stuff like that. So I just liked his game. But now I don't really see Gary like that anymore. You know what I mean? I see him as an opponent.
You want to beat Gary now, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, and that's how I'd see every player. I treat every game mostly the same. So, yeah.
What would you say is your best game that you've been involved in or played in? Is it a game that stands out for you since you've been over here that you've played in?
I'm not too sure. I've been in a few games.
Yeah.
I think maybe just the days. So like the Pro Tour day that I won, I beat some names along the way. That's I don't remember a particular game.
Yeah.
But like I just beat the big name players along the way, and I think I've had a couple of days like that. And that's all I remember is just getting through and winning consecutive games one after another.
Do you feel there's any truth in like what Peter Wright have said about like with the Pro Tours? He said that sometimes you'll go into the Pro Tour and you'll feel like 100% you can't lose today. Like you've got that sort of mindset. And do you feel there's any truth in that? Do you feel that when you was playing in the Pro Tours?
The last one of the days I did, I felt I was building into the tournament. Like I started off like it was a steady game. It was like high 90s or something like that. And then my next game, I felt I did better and better. And I was like, oh, I'm on here today.
Yeah.
And then I lost with like 104 or 5 average. And I'm going, oh, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So there are days like that, but I felt like that. And then I thought to the next day, I was like, yeah, no one's beaten me today. And so I think, you do feel like that, but I don't think there's been a time where I've felt like I was going to lose. You know what I mean? I don't feel that.
I think it is just like the thing of backing your ability, really. And obviously, you're all top level performers. Like you can all beat each other on the day, and it's just, I think it's who sort of handles it better. Sometimes handles the moment, the occasion better, especially in finals and stuff like that on those pro tours. Is how you sort of handle it and how you take your doubles and stuff.
Yeah, and I think like if I was to say like a 5-1 down, there's still never a doubt of I'm always thinking that, oh yeah, if I just get this one and then maybe hold my throw, I just know I'm going to put the pressure on that guy. So you've always got that fight to keep driving, like, so you're never going to be down and out, you know what I mean? And if you're good enough, you're good enough.
Yeah. Well, the final question, we ask it to everybody we interview. If you have a dream match, it's the World Championship final. You can play any player and win the World Championship final. Who do you play? Past or present?
So it'd have to be Kyle, I reckon, on stage, and we'll play our first leg left-handed.
No, thank you very much for speaking to us. I really appreciate that. Cheers.
Too easy.
And all the best. Germany is the next one for you now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still apparently 100% going ahead. So I don't know how they can say 100%, but yeah, definitely going ahead.
Well, fingers crossed for a big run there, and well, good luck to you in the future and the rest of the season.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks
for speaking to me. Thank you, buddy. Cheers.
Bye, mate. See you, bud.
Oh, man. Bye.